Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I'm great. How about yourself, Ozzy?
Doing well, doing well. Raiders fired their offensive coordinator today. So I think that finally means we're not going to lose games by more than 10. So we'll still lose games, but we're not going to lose by more than 10, I'm thinking.
Steps. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Fleshman producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Chilling.
Yeah, there's almost like a setup that something else is going to happen. Todd, for those listening in this podcast universe, Todd's holding up a copy of the film we are reviewing and discussing today, the Blu-ray unrated version. The film in question is Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, released on April 25th, 2008. Todd holding up the back of the Blu-ray cover, and if you're familiar with the film, it's some funny imagery there. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, sir.
Flight 420 to Amsterdam, now boarding at gate 13.
Sir, I need you to step aside, please. Just a random security check.
Random, huh?
No. Come on, just do what the guy says.
What, you a racist?
Racist? Dude, I'm black.
He's black. He's not racist.
Please, you're barely even brown.
8 hours. We're gonna be in Amsterdam. This is amazing.
This is bigger than I thought. North Korea and Al Qaeda working together.
We're Americans, man. We love America.
Hey, zip it, Hello Kitty.
Welcome to Guantanamo Bay. You boys like to spoon?
No.
They were locked up for less than an hour, and they already escaped. We're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Hi.
Oh.
What's up with the orange jumpsuits?
What's up with this party?
I'm sick of all the hype over topless.
I always like topless.
Well, I'm starting the bottomless trend. Drink it in.
Ask the Lees what they know about their son's terrorist activity.
네가 아들이 그래가지고 안 좋아라.
Look, we've been American citizens for over 40 years.
They're speaking some sort of dialect I've never heard before.
From the geniuses who took you to White Castle, John Cho.
He's not a terrorist. He's just an idiot.
Kal Penn.
You remember that time that you stole that monkey and put it in Rosenberg's dorm room?
Had I known that the monkey had AIDS, I never would have done that.
And Neil Patrick Harris as Neil Patrick Harris.
If you want to know the secret of being, you will come with us.
I fought the Lord. No one. I fought the Lord.
Dude, we gotta get out of here before the owners of this house find us.
No way.
Delicious. Is that you?
Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay.
They thought you guys were terrorizers.
And that was the trailer for Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, again released on April 25th, 2008. The review that we had was the unrated version that we will be reviewing and discussing. The theatrical release was rated R, the runtime of 114 minutes. Written and directed by John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg, starring John Cho, Kal Penn, Neil Patrick Harris, and Rob Corddry. Initial thoughts on this? I remember when this kind of like was a big deal when it came out in theater, and remembers this was a big deal when it came out in theaters, and I remember a lot of acquaintances, definitely like, I don't want to use the word flocking because it's overused when referring to a movie, flock into the theaters for this, but it was really popular at the time. And although rewatching it now versus seeing it in the theater, I think being a part of that time of that particular presidency, and while certain stuff was coming out, kind of hit a different way. Whereas I think somebody who maybe would just read about the time watching this wouldn't hit so close. Well, it wouldn't hit so hard, I guess. But at the same time, this being released in 2008, it was it's a comedy that does that blatant racial humor that is so over the top you can't help but laugh at it.
I naturally laugh at stuff. I'm like, that's just racist. It makes me laugh. Always has. We don't get that humor anymore. It's like we can't joke about that. I think that's part of the problem. People don't want to see. I'm going to get too deep, but I think realizing it can be funny is what helps people just get over it.
Right. The more you exaggerate, the more over the top, the better it is. We just got to a point. Sorry,
I feel like we need to say we recorded this on 11/3, so we don't know the outcome of anything. We don't know what's going on.
Oh yes,
in the world
full
right
disclosure.
now.
Full disclosure. This is being recorded on November 3rd, so we don't know. We don't know the future.
Yeah.
Greg, any initial thoughts here?
Yeah, so this was a fun flick. I remember when this came out, I was actually really excited for it because the first Harold and Kumar was fantastic. And we'd had another film called Beer Fest in which I teased a sequel that unfortunately never happened. But I was interested for how the sequel was going to go for it, and especially going to Amsterdam, fitting with what the Pot Fest sequel was going to be for Beer Fest. I was stoked to see where this went. It went in a different direction than I thought, but as you mentioned, there were some things politically that were interesting about the flick that hit different. Now I think we can. I had a little bit more fun with it than I did back then. But yeah, this is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so this is the opposite effect of last week.
Yeah, very much so. Where in retrospect, it's a little bit more fun, but at the time probably didn't hit the same because I remember watching it being this is a little weird, but yeah, this time was definitely a little bit more fun
because we're like, we survived it, we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Well, I recall specifically in the theaters, there would be a vibe like the Rob Corddry scenes. Whenever he'd say like the most ridiculous, crass, just stupidest thoughts, and you would hear the people laughing in the theater. What was awkward was the people that weren't laughing, because those were the people who are like, wait, I'm not supposed to think like that. Almost like I think it kind of drew a line in the sand, like, hey, you're not supposed to be thinking like this, right. And it presented it in a humorous way to illustrate, yeah, you're not supposed to be thinking like this. But I just recall being in the theater and not everybody was laughing during moments like that. Mm-hmm. Especially not everybody was laughing during a scene, which we'll get to momentarily. Speaking of which, going into these favorite moments, now I have one from when I first saw it in the theater, but I have one from this most recent viewing. In seeing the theater at the time in 2008, having them crash into W's house,
mm-hmm.
and whoever they had portrayed, I don't have the name in front of me, but I'll get that shortly. But whoever portrayed the president did a very, very good job. And seeing the characterization was interesting, especially how it tied in with the story that was going on. However, and now that was my favorite moment when I initially saw it, because again, this guy that
did we all do initial thoughts?
Yeah, we just finished initial thoughts.
I don't even remember. I'm just my bad. I was like, did we talk?
I believe we did. Didn't we?
I did. I don't know if Todd did.
Yeah, I think I just kind of threw in on there because I didn't.
I apologize. You want to finish up any?
No, go for it. I'll just do it when I get to my rating because mine's
Okay. This go round.
Sorry, I was
No,
just say
go
real
for it.
quick. No,
Yeah.
I didn't see it in theaters initially, so mine is kind of a first. So when we get to my rating,
I see. I was a huge fan of Rob Corddry on the Daily Show,
Right.
and so seeing him when Ed Helms is in the scene as well, just even better. But when Ed Helms drops the line, "Do you have a master's in Korean romance literature?" That was just like completely unexpected. It almost fell off my chair. I loved that line. So, Todd, I'm sorry if you add on whatever you're going to add on and then transition into your favorite moment.
all right, yeah, yeah, I didn't see this initially when it came out theatrically. I remember being kind of a little disappointed we didn't get the Harold and Kumar go to Amsterdam that was talked about. Kind of, we'll get to that a bit in the special features part, but so I've only seen this once, and it was first when it hit Blu-ray, and I have zero recollection of it. I know we were drinking that night. I remember enjoying it, but that's all I really remember. Like the only part that really rewatching it that I remembered is the horror house scene. So shocker. So watching it for what it felt like for the first time, I had a lot of fun with this. I think I had more than initially, and maybe it is like you said because it wasn't so connected now. And yeah, and it felt like a new adventure to me because I didn't remember so much of it. So I don't know if that upped my rating, but it definitely didn't hurt it. I'm a 4.5 on this one. I had a really good time. And I botched it because I was supposed to do my moment, not my rating.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut that out and fix that.
No, don't screw it. Whatever.
Fine.
We're
you went.
Tell us what your favorite moment is.
You went late. I went early. Or whatever. I don't know what the hell's happened today. Okay, my favorite moment. Sorry, my notes. See, now I'm not even ready. In the trailer, the white lady seeing Kumar is the stereotypical terrorist. That was like my biggest laugh of it. I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite. I do have another one, but I don't know who's what. So we'll come back. So.
And Greg, before he gets to you, just want to note the individual playing George W. Bush, James Adamian. No, Adamian. James Adamian. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
There's so many to choose from. But I do have to say the interrogation room with Ed Helms and the whole bit of like, yeah, they're speaking a form of Korean. I don't know. Like, that whole bit was just solid. Like every bit of that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was really special because you hadn't seen anything much from Rob Corddry or Ed Helms outside the Daily Show. Rob Corddry had a role in he had Hot Tub Time Machine, I think 2 years after this.
Right.
But he had a smaller role in Old School where he barely had any lines, if I could recall. Didn't really stand out, but
he had that short-lived Fox series, The Winner, that made it 6 episodes, which I did think was pretty funny, but I understand why I didn't laugh. If you've never seen it, seek it out.
Unfortunately, as of this recording on November 3rd, this particular film, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, is not available to stream. However, it is available to rent or purchase wherever you consume your favorite content. I just realized, Greg, did you give a rating?
No, not yet.
I'm all over the place. I don't know. It's because the movie gave us a contact high.
Pretty much. If I were to give it a rating, I'd probably say 4.5. Like if the original time watching it, and again, I think it was because it was too close to home in certain parts of it that maybe made me feel a little different. But in retrospect, it's I'm okay with it, and things were fun, and there were a lot of good laughs and a lot of good times. Hit the same notes that you were expecting from the first one while expanding upon new adventure. So yeah, 4.5 for me.
I'm going to go with a 4.5 as well. The only thing the reason why I want to take a half a point off is primarily because if you're unaware of what was going on during that time, it might not. I don't think it would click as well.
Yeah.
I can easily see somebody who not familiar with any situation whatsoever probably give this something closer to a 3.
Mhm.
However, but because we're very familiar with the situation, and if you read at all about that time, then I think you would find it very enjoyable. But still, I never feel comfortable giving a 5 to a movie that requires a kind of historical context
Right.
to really understand what, everything that's going on.
It was hard for me not to give it a 5, considering with the grape soda joke and the pennies joke. I'm just saying. Not to mention the one
That
in the
was
deep
so
south
good.
with all the white folks.
Now I'm
And
mad.
hearing
neither
in
of
the
those-
background, hey, ask if he's got any Kool-Aid.
That was so good. I almost want to change my score to a 5 because of all those. They were so funny. Like, it really did have a funny moment.
And then like little details like Kumar's like Southern t-shirt.
So what information did you want to share that's on the Blu-ray?
The Blu-ray. You might want to grab this because this has an interesting movie mode. Not only does it have the unrated version, it has Dude Change the Movie, which is basically a choose your own adventure style. So you'll watch the movie and periodically a message will pop up. For example, you'll get something like smoke or don't smoke in the bathroom of the plane, and then you choose what happens, and then you would get a result. So they had that one. Another example is when you get to the door, tops off, tops or bottoms was your choice. So if you prefer tops off instead of bottoms, that was the option you could pick. It's the one I picked. And then you could pick who has the dream. Remember when they have the dream when they're staying at the couple's house? And then good guy or douche for the boyfriend who was helping them out at the airport.
Really?
Yes. So if you pick good guy, two chicks come out, then they give you your passport, you get on the plane, and the movie's over. Now, here's the thing. Let's go back to the first one I told you, the smoke or the don't smoke on the plane. If you don't smoke on the plane, the scene, you go back and you sit in your seat, the scene ends, and I think it says like 5 hours later, and then Harold and Kumar go to Amsterdam, and what you get is an 11-minute film that they just shot in Amsterdam, a bunch of stuff, and they basically they just dub the dialogue. Like it's all like spoken over the footage, but you get a little 11-minute story of them in Amsterdam running around in the credits. So,
hey, that's fun.
So about choosing, well, rather, so I just pulled this up on Amazon currently. The Blu-ray is available for only $9.50. So I don't have the same cover. I do have unrated here. The cover looks slightly different. However, I do have it confirmed. It does have Dude Change the Movie available as a feature. So if you want to, it does. Yeah, in fact, it actually is that. Yes, that is actually the one Todd is holding up right now, or was holding up a short moment ago. The one being held in his left hand is currently available for sale. Correct. That is currently available on Amazon as of November 3rd. So if you want to pick that up for just under $10, enjoy.
And if you need the slipcover to complete your collection, I'll sell it to you for $80. There's weirdos that buy this cardboard for way too much. So if they want it, I'll take it.
All right.
Sorry, slipcover guys. I'm just busting your balls. I still got it.
Do you guys have anything before you head out for the evening?
No.
If you see Dream Theater on tour in your area, go check them out. They're going to be coming by North America starting February of 2025. Get your tickets. No, not a sponsor.
All right, very cool.
Todd.
Check out Wednesday's show. I don't know what it is because we're in the future.
In the future. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll be visiting the Orange County area this week, I'll be hosting trivia this Tuesday at the Rush Bar and Grill in Lake Forest beginning at 7 o'clock, and this Wednesday at the Brewery in Placentia beginning at 7 o'clock. Always free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. Come on out, have some fun. And if you guys don't have anything else, we'll be heading up
I
the
just
evening.
gotta say,
Oh,
my beer, I don't know if you see, it's from the
oh,
brewery.
wow! Look at that. How
Yeah.
did that happen?
I don't know. Good
That's
luck.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think anybody watching this just probably saw the can that said the brewery and just realized, like, oh, the venue is actually called the brewery.
Yes.
Yes. BRUERY. So if you would like to join. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here. A brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.